Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead Cande Roth out enjoying her week off of late sleep. A few things you might have seen the counties here, Suffolk and Nassau, getting ready to open up beaches and limiting it, those certain beaches, to town residents only, and keeping it to a low percentage. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% capacity, so you will, if you decide to go to the beach. I'm going to sit this one out. I'll let you go try it for me. I am not planning on heading there anytime soon, but if you do choose to, you must have your ID and make sure you show that you're a resident of that specific county to be able to get onto the beach, into the beach area, the parking lot, etc. By the way, I don't think I've said etc. Very often in my radio history. That could be the first, to be honest. Belmont Stakes. Now, this is a smart move by the New York Racing Association. The Belmont Stakes said, we are going to run on June 20th. Now, reason it's an interesting decision and a smart one by NYRA is that the Derby has already pushed back to September, and the Preakness has pushed back to October. Now, normally the Belmont would be the third leg of the Triple Crown. The Belmont says, listen, we don't know what's going to be in a late October or early November. We can't take the risk. We run in June. That's when we run. It's a strange year with the pandemic. We're going to run in June, and if the Triple Crown's not the same, it's not the same. Who knows? The Triple Crown may not happen. You don't know what's going to be with the Derby and the Preakness. So, NYRA making the smart decision. They will have a full broadcast all to themselves, and for the first time ever, be the first leg of the Triple Crown. To attract more horses, they have cut back the distance. The distance of the Belmont is usually 1.5 miles, which a lot of horses are scared, and owners are scared of going into because it's very rigorous and tough on the horse. They've cut back the distance to 1.125 miles, and they will be running June 20th and get the honor of being the first leg of the Triple Crown. So an extra spotlight on the Belmont this year, June 20th, obviously without fans, but should be a pretty cool TV broadcast and TV moment here coming up on June 20. Today in history, it's an interesting day. There's this blows my mind. 710 years ago, the year was 1310. It was the first time ever that different shoes for the left and right feet were produced. Until the year 1310, all shoes were cut exactly the same. Thank you to whoever figured that out. Mr. Nike, whoever you are, Mr. Adidas, whoever it may have been 710 years ago. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 514 years ago, 1506, Christopher Columbus died in Spain, still convinced his journeys were along the east coast of Asia, and he passed away in Spain. 93 years ago, 1927, Charles Lindbergh took off from New York in the spirit of St. Louis and tried to become the first person to fly nonstop across the Atlantic, landed safely in Paris, and was awarded $25,000. Then 5 years later, in 1932, Amelia Earhart took off from Newfoundland, headed for Ireland. She landed at Londonderry 15 hours later, the first woman to fly across the Atlantic by herself. And congrats to her, 88 years ago today. Some other things that happened this day in history. In 1993, more than 80 million people watched the final episode of Cheers, the second highest rated finale ever, behind MASH and just ahead of Seinfeld. 9 years ago, Randy Macho Man Savage passed away of a heart attack at 58. And 8 years ago, in 2012, Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees died from cancer at 62. My Country 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.